Hi, this is Akiva Hersh. I'm the author of The Magus and The Fool, which will be released on March 29th, 2022. And I wanted to answer some questions about the book that have come from different people so far. The title, The Magus and the Fool, was immediate for me. I knew that the main character, Jacoby, was going to be far more an illusionist than Gatsby, and Carrie would follow him off the cliff if it meant getting close to him. And the Magus, or the magician, and the Fool archetypes really just begged for a title that would be right on the nose. I was not initially drawn to retelling The Great Gatsby. I liked the novel, and the movie was just fine, but I was considering other works. As I wrote out a few sample chapters for several books that have been released into the public domain, I began to fall in love with the characters that I had conceived of for a Great Gatsby retelling, and they just inhabited my mind like a hermit crab in his shell. Regarding the anti-Semitism that shows up in The Great Gatsby, I'm a Jew, and I wanted to portray flawed characters of all types, but I really wanted to narrow down the racism and bigotry to Fallon, leaving the other characters to present as more woke, because I felt that Fallon had the internal capacity to carry this burden more than any of the other characters. She's not brittle, she's not ashamed of her opinions, and while they're not in vogue, she's true to herself up to a point. On the surface, all of Fallon's racism and rants against conservatives seem to conflict with her other more liberal opinions. However, my intention in creating these conflicts in her was to show that people are complex and that human beings are reliably inconsistent. Donovan's bisexuality and Levi being trans is something Fallon chooses to overlook, especially in Donovan's case. Why? Because Fallon struggles with the gray areas in life and especially relationships. She prefers the stark black and white sorting when it comes to morals, businesses, and people she cares about. I was not at all interested in carbon copying all the characters from The Great Gatsby and just swapping their gender or their sexuality. Each of my characters has a different personality with different motivations than Fitzgerald's. And there are some similarities to the character arcs between the two. I think that's where the resemblance ends. I feel like Long Island has changed so much since the 1920s and is no longer fresh. I lived in Austin for over half of my life, and it's a liberal blue oasis amidst the red here in Texas, and yet the issues of social class, race, inequality are all still played out there in so many interesting ways. So that's why I chose it as the setting.